What's up, YouTube fans? Today you're going to take a look at the ModFans Ruller, their version of a masterpiece scale roller that transforms into this robot. So not quite G1, but the roller itself is sort of a reimagined version of Ruller. So it does come in this silver color. There is also a red and blue one, which we'll be taking a look at a little bit later. This is the first one that came out. And it is actually pretty beautifully painted. You got the nice gunmetal gray, metallic blue for the eyes, silver for the face, silver paint kind of all throughout, accents. A little bit of yellow here on the knee. We'll see that more in the vehicle mode. Black here for the toes. These toe pieces are die cast right here. Out of box, you're going to need to fold these heel spurs back. They're just folded up inside the toe. Coming to the back, here's what it looks like. Relatively clean back here as well. We get the wheels, but I think it kind of looks cool anyway. He does have some pretty nice articulation right out of the box. The head is on a ball joint, goes up to there, down to there, a little bit side to side, actually quite a bit of side to side, and then rotates all the way around. I really like the head sculpt, by the way. Shoulders rotate around on a ball joint. It's a little squeaky. It does have a little back and forth butterfly joint movement. And you can get it up to there. You can kind of fold the whole joint up. Then you can get it up a little bit higher if you move it out of the way. You can get a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets a full bend, which is also part of the transformation. So kind of fortuitous rotation at the wrist. Nothing at the hands. They're just molded in that shape, which is fine for a smaller bot like this. But it would be nice if it was at least a single pin there. At the upper ab crunch, you have a side-to-side movement and a crunch. So it goes down to there, back to there, and side-to-side. You have a rotation at the waist. Coming down to the hips, you have hip skirts in the front and back. These can end up getting in the way, so you just want to be careful when you bend the leg. But leg goes up to there, friction, back to there on friction, out to the side on friction. Nice tolerances on that. Rotation of the thigh around a universal. A ratcheted knee. The only ratchet on this robot is at the knee. You do want this extended out a little bit. You don't have to have it all the way out, but you can't have it in because then the knee won't close. You need to have it like about to there. Once you have it bent out, it's fine. It stays that way. At the ankle, you have a tilt. And this is on a, yes, this is on a rotating swivel here. So you have side to side, not a lot, but that much. And then you have forward and backward on that too. Right, and it does come with some accessories here. So you get these two blasters, which kind of are reminiscent of the original G1 toy, which came with what I thought was a gas nozzle, but it's actually a welding torch. But you can attach these together, and that will give him kind of this bigger weapon, and you can kind of basically double wield it because it's got two handles there. So you can use that. Or if you prefer, you can use them separately, as individual guns, like that. Or, which is kind of my favorite, is use it as the welding torch. You're going to take this off, and we're going to come to the back here, lift this up a little bit, and we want this with the open side facing down. And you can kind of do this however you like. I prefer it this way, but whatever you want. And then plug in this hose. And don't throw this out. This is actually in the instructions. One of my friends actually threw this away accidentally. So you just want to be careful to grab that out of the instruction box. But now he's got that welding torch look. I think that's really cool. You can work on Optimus. And, it's just a fun little nod to the original toy, but in robot mode. And for some quick size comparisons, there it is next to the Magic Square Optimus Prime, the MP version of Skids, and the retail Netflix Optimus Prime. And then I have a couple of spikes here. I got the spike from the MP Hound and the spike from MP10 from way back in the day. And me personally, I think he fits in a lot better with the Masterpiece scale than he does with the retail line. Somebody asked me about this, that's why I'm showing it here. So I don't think it works well with this scale. But as far as the mini bots go from the Masterpiece line, I think he fits in perfectly with them. He's just a little bit smaller than the mini bots, and then much smaller than the car bots, but a head shorter. And then as far as the height with spike, I think this one probably works better, but either one is passable. We'll take a look at that again in vehicle mode, but there you go for a sense of scale. All right, now let's get Ruller transformed into his vehicle mode. And more complicated than I thought, but not impossible or anything. So let's start off with the back here. So we'll come to the back, and we're going to lift up on these panels here. You can take this back piece, just lay that back. And these are going to come all the way up. You can take the head, rotate that 90 degrees, so it's facing backwards, or 180 degrees. Leave this down for now. By the way, this panel does rotate up, so if you wanted to pretend these were guns or something, these actually angle. You could do that as well, but I didn't really bother with that. Come back to the front here. You can take this chest plate. That's going to slide down, and there's two tabs that are going into the lower two slots on the chest. So just bring that down, tab that in. For the arms, we're going to do a couple operations here. You're going to lift up on this piece right here, so it sits up like that. Open up this panel. It's tabbed in here. Bring this around. It's going to sit around the panel you just raised up. Come to the bottom here. Open up the lower arm panel. Flop that in. Then bring this around and tab it in to the front. So it should end up like this, and then the wheel will end up on the outside. All right, we'll do the same thing here. I'll go a little faster. Fold this up. Fold this panel out. Fold this up and around. Bring up your arm panel, fold this down, close that up, rotate this panel up, and this should sit on the top of the arm. And make sure the arm is like straight, otherwise you'll have a little trouble getting this lined up. But it should sit like that, and then make sure your wheel's on the outside. All right, now you can bring this up and around. These two little tabs are going to kind of sit on top of where the head is, and then this panel sits underneath. So it ends up looking like this, up against the top of the head. I'm going to take these wheels, we're going to rotate these 180 degrees. Bring these up and out of the way so you can rotate these ab panels out of the way. These are actually tabbed in there. These are going to accordion down on a double hinge. Move this out of the way. There's a tab there. As this comes in, that'll meet up. You can kind of see where it's going to go right there. So get that lined up and tab that in. All right, same on this side. Bring this down, and as it comes in, it'll line up and tab it. All right, make sure your ab crunch is straight for later. Come to the bottom here. These panels are going to tab into here. It's kind of a tight stretch. I'm not really sure why, but that is how it is. So you have to bring this panel over these little tabs, and it just feels like it's an overly tight fit. It will go, but you have to kind of bring this down to meet it. See how that tab went through? Same on this side. Bring this down and then tab it in, and then this is going to come down and tab into here. You can bring this panel down, and this is supposed to go underneath here. So you might have to lift this up. Okay, there we go. So this is going to sit just inside of here, like that. And these will sit straight back, so you have them rotated that they sit straight back like that. All right, now we'll take care of the legs, which is actually the easier part of this entire transformation. Make sure these knee panels are opened up all the way. Come to the back, rotate these wheels out. This bottom one is going to rotate 180 degrees, so that it sits kind of outwards this way. Same on this side. And get that wheel. These wheels might move on you, so you might have to do it again. Fold the heel spurs in Just sit like that. All right, next we'll take care of the legs here. We're gonna fold that toe down. You had to kind of get this from here. There's really no way to get it later, so I recommend you do it now. You can get a thumb or a spudger under here, lift this up, rotate that forward. It's gonna just peg right there. If you don't do this until later, then you'll have a little trouble, so do it now. You can fold the foot back down. Get the legs pegged together. Make sure the knees are open all the way. Get these pegged together, line them up before you put it together. It just makes things easier. And there should be, I think there's 2 tabs total. All right, then we're going to bend at the knee. And back here, you can lift up these panels. Just get them out of the way. It'll give you a little bit of space to clear everything. So bring this all the way down. Make sure these 2 ab pieces are clearing. Make this way down. And just make sure everything's clearing. Here we go. And then we can take these panels, close those up, close these up if they came out, close these down back to where they were. And there's Roller in his vehicle mode, roller mode. And it looks pretty good. Got some yellow lights up here, silver down here, translucent red here for kind of, I guess, turn signals or just markers. You have the red emergency light up there. Painted silver wheels with red around the rim. Here's the back. The one thing that's kind of annoying in this mode is the wheels don't lock in place. But if you're setting it down, it does roll beautifully on those wheels, and it works just fine. So I guess I don't mind it because you're not going to be like holding him. But it is a little irritating. It will kind of like have a little bit of play and bounce to those wheels, but it works very, very well. You do have some features here. You can take the gun and plug it together. You do have to put this to the side, and then you can have this over the top like this. Or if you prefer, you can attach this, which is what I thought was the ability to gas up a vehicle, but it's actually the welding torch. And then you can kind of have this either welding somebody, or if you have it set up like this, you can plug it into the side here for storage purposes. And let's see, thought you could do it, yeah. So you can kind of roll them around with that attached. I just think that was cool. You know, he's ready to fuel it up. You can also take that off, and you can kind of mess with this on its own. You can open up these, pretend those are little storage compartments, and just due to the way it's set up, I believe you can store stuff here as well, like that, or whatever. You can also open up this front compartment, pretend those little engines. Again, it's part of the transformation, not really meant for that. You can also take out this. Now you're going to need a spudger because it's very hard to get to, but basically you're going to pop this light up gently. And as you pop that up, again, remove it. It's just on a little peg here. And that'll allow you to use the slots there to pull MP10's trailer. Or if you have MP44, you can also pull MP44's trailer, but I have MP10 here, so we're going to plug that in. And that looks really good next to the trailer. It does roll very nicely. It's, you know, firm, and it's not going to fall over or anything like that. And it can still rotate using the joint or the hinge for the hitch. So that really looks good and works very well. While we're at it, here it is next to MP10 Optimus Prime, similar to in size and scale to other Masterpiece Primes, so that should get you a sense of scale of how big this roller is. And before I forget, roller does indeed fit in the trailer. You can roll out roll back in. You can close up the trailer here, and Optimus can drive away. And for some more size comparisons, there it is next to the MP10 roller. I happen to have the blue one. I have the Hasbro version of MP10, so I don't have the silver one. But there you go for a sense of size. It is bigger in all the dimensions. And here is the G1 roller. And much bigger than him, obviously. And then here's some minifigures just to get a sense of scale with those. This is the MP Hound Spike, the MP10 Spike, and then the Dr. Wu Spike. Dr. Wu obviously looks the best out of all of them, but the one that kind of fits inside is really only the MP10 one, and he barely fits. You can't really get his legs in. You can kind of do this, I guess, but the best way I found him to sit is like right here. That's really all you could do. I guess you could open this up, and maybe you could fake something there. I don't know. He really doesn't want to go. Obviously, these guys are bigger, so they're not going to fit either. So not really meant to fit with a with one of these minifigures, but you could kind of fake it if you wanted to. So final recommendations on the ModFans roller. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. I really like this figure. I think they did a good job overall on the robot mode. I like the feature here with the welding torch and the overall possibilities with the gun. I also like the posability for the price point on this figure, $30-something. You get a lot for your money. Fully painted, well articulated, at least one ratchet, a little bit of die cast in the feet, and he transforms into a pretty cool roller that fits inside the trailer, can pull the trailer, does everything the roller can do except it can transform into a really cool robot. I think this is a win. I mean, it's a really, really good pickup. Now, I will be getting the red and blue one. I haven't decided which one I like better in terms of the color scheme. But at the price point they're selling it at, you can't really go wrong with either one of these. So I also wanted to show it does fit in nicely with a Masterpiece scale Optimus Prime. You can kind of get it kind of like a repair robot, or really you can do anything with it, but it really works well with a Masterpiece scale Optimus Prime. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.